All right. Hi, guys. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to reach more people with better ads in Q4. Basically, how can we scale more effectively and what ads can we use in order to do that. My name is Ori. I'm the director of performance in Mixtiles. We sell, if you don't know us, we sell photo tiles that can stick to wall. And now we also have a plant that can water itself, which is really awesome. And I've been in e-commerce for the past 7 years, working for Mixtiles and a company called My Name Necklace that does personalized jewelry. And both companies I've helped scaling to well over $100 million annual revenue, managing budgets of 7 figures most of my years. And a really big part of these two companies' success comes from a very good Q4 playbook, specifically around gifting. And I have some cool insights that I would like to share with you guys. And something to note, this tech is mostly about Facebook. It's completely about Facebook. So when I'm talking about creatives, when I'm talking about account structures, I'm talking specifically only about Facebook. So let's start. First question I want to ask is, why is reaching more people any different in Q4 compared to other times of the year? And the reason for that is, one, that we have new and unique motivations for purchasing, which is the big sales, Black Friday and Cyber Monday and so on. And then also we have the gifting season. And the second reason is that when we're scaling budget really fast and really aggressively, we're at risk of losing spend efficiency and diminishing profitability. So why do we lose spend efficiency in the first place? So two main reasons. The first one is timing related, and it is that we're scaling our budgets too high, too aggressively, and too fast when intent is still relatively low. The other is that the flip side of that is that we're not scaling enough when the market is really hot. The second thing that can cause issues is ad frequency. Specifically, when we increase our budgets by a lot, we expect to reach new people and more people. And sometimes what happens is that we tap to the same audience over and over again, showing our ads to the same people. And that's not only a waste of money, it's also super annoying, and it would make people hate us. So that's another issue that we want to address. So how can we scale better? I want to talk about 4 main things. One is using manual bids with very, very high budgets. The second is also about bidding, talking about LTV adjusted bids in order to set our bids more wisely. The third is moving into a more simplified account structure. And the last but not least is creatives for gifting specifically. So let's talk a bit about bidding. I want to start with a bit to see that we're all on the same page. Talk about the difference between manual bid and auto bid and how do we use them. So if you can see in this little screen recording I made here, if you ever made a campaign on Ads Manager, you know this little text box here where you set your either desired CPA or minimum ROAS. There's other options, but these are the main ones we use in e-commerce. And when you use this text box and fill it, you're using a manual bid, which means you're telling Facebook what's your desired target. When you leave this field empty, you're using auto bids. Now, the difference between them is that when you use auto bids, you give the algorithm control over your bids in order to reach, in order to spend your entire daily budget. So you have control over your daily budgets or lifetime budgets, but you give the algorithm control over your bids. With manual bids, it's the other way around. You have control, you can set your bids, but you give the machine control over your spend and scale. Another thing that is really important to notice is that with auto bids, the first goal we give to Facebook is to first spend our entire budget and only then to maximize our sales or revenue. With manual bid, the first goal is to hit or exceed our desired CPA or ROAS, whatever we set, and only then to maximize spend. So for this reason, manual bids are inherently more effective spend-wise compared to auto bids. Now, what I suggest is setting manual bids with very, very high budgets in order to scale more effectively. And I want to show you, to make the point, Mixtile's performance last year, Q4, November, December. What we have here, we can see on the top panel, we have the spend. On the lower panel, we have frequency. The purple line is our auto bids, and the blue line is our manual bids. Now, last year, we had a nice case study because we split our account. We had half the campaigns running with manual bids and half the campaigns running with auto bids. And what you can see here is actually a good example to how both behave. So if you look at the beginning of the weeks leading to Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you can see the human work here of gradually scaling spend until we reach Black Friday budgets. And on the other hand, you can see the really random spend behavior with the manual bids, and then what happens on Black Friday, which is this really fast scale up here, is that the manual bid just took over completely and basically spent 2-3 times more than the auto bids throughout Q4 until the end of it. Now, the end result was that we spent 50% more on manual bids. They brought in 15% higher ROAS. And another interesting to look at is the frequency. So you can see here that basically frequency is very similar, even when the scale, the budgets are like 2-3 times higher on manual bid campaigns. And that basically shows us the two main points on why is this an effective and powerful tool. First of all, manual bid campaigns will scale spend faster and more efficiently than any human campaign manager can, as we can see here. It will reach more people, having everything else equal, it will reach more people with the same amount of spend because they have lower CPMs and lower frequency. And they also have the extra benefit of not offsetting your exit learning and sending it to relearning every time you do a very significant change of budgets, which is something that does happen with the auto bid. So you might be asking, why do we keep using auto bids anyway? Why didn't I just put all of my budget on the on the manual bid campaigns? And that's a pretty good question. And the answer is what happened to us in Mixtiles in 2018. All of our campaigns were set on minimum ROAS, value campaigns, and what you can see here is the days leading to Black Friday, which were pretty disastrous. And what happened is that it killed our campaigns. And Black Friday, which is the dots that I put here, we didn't scale up. We had a 10% increase day over day, where in 2019 we had a 65% increase. 2020 was even way more aggressive than that. I think it was a double up. So that's actually a pretty important point about manual bids. And a pretty big shortcoming is that they're unexpected, they're very hard to predict, and basically a bit risky. And that's not a risk that I was willing to take on Black Friday. I'm not a brave man. So basically, the first reason I'm using auto bids, anyways, not to put all my eggs in one basket. The other one is that I do need a bit of predictability, some predictability. Doing these days, because a good sync with our operation departments and with customer services also crucial in Q4, so they can prepare factories better and avoid early shipping cutoffs. So bottom line here, have manual bid campaign with super high budgets. When I say super high, it's to the point you get scared. I get scared easily. And let them run with very high budgets, while you also have also scale your auto bid campaigns on the side for a backup and to have some predictability into your sales numbers. The other point that I want to do is what I want to make is also about bidding, and that's about how we look at lifetime value in mixed size in order to help us do our bidding better. And what we found, and I encourage you to do the same and look at these numbers, is that in November, when the market started to get hot, but before Black Friday, Cyber Monday, in the weeks leading to Black Friday, Cyber Monday, we have a 10% increase in those customers' lifetime value compared to other times of the year, and that it happens every year. And if you think about it, it kind of makes sense, because these people, the people that are buying in the weeks leading to Black Friday, Cyber Monday, will get our product either on the days of sales or straight afterwards when it's gifting season. And there's no better way to be on top of mind of our customers than having our product arriving at their doorstep and having them unbox it for the first time. So basically, we're giving them, we're arriving at a very good timing for them to purchase again, whether it's because of a great offer we have or as a gift. And we do that in the right timing. And that's why these people are more likely to buy again. And it has two advantages. First advantage is that I'm acquiring users with high LTV. And also, this spend is served in order to increase my retargeting list. So I'm increasing my scale when CPMs are low. And basically, I'm acquiring cheap retargeting lists before the Black Friday, Cyber Monday, high CPM madness begins. So that's what I have to say about biddings. The next point I want to discuss is account structure, more specifically simplified account structure, and that's something that made a very big difference for Mixtiles in 2020. And let's talk about that. So, so in Mixtiles, we work with a lot of different agencies. So our general strategy is to work with the best agencies in the world, learn from them, and implement in-house. So we got to see quite a lot of different approaches to account structure. And generally, you can say that most are still using a very segmented account structures with lower funnel, bottom of the funnel, mid funnel, and upper funnel groups. And a minority are moving into a simplified account structure that unifies ad sets. And generally, the trend is moving from segmented account structures to simplified account structures. Now, in the beginning of 2020, when we found out about iOS 14, we moved to a simplified account structure, but we also wanted to make a very robust test to understand the benefits. And before I'm going to talk to you, I'll show you the results of the test. But before I do that, I want to talk about the pros and cons of each one of these sides of the spectrum. So, segmented. When we're doing a segmented account structure, we gain control over who sees what message, and we can tailor fit different messages to different audiences. And we also have control over the budgets that we're spending on let's say, our retargeting audiences or our retention audiences. The problem with it is over-segmentation. It often leads to loss of signals, constant learning, a lot of overhead in work. Usually these account structures tend to get very big very fast. With a simplified approach, it's just the opposite. So the problem with it is that we lose control over which audience sees what message, which is something that is really crucial and it's really hard to give up. On the other hand, we gain more signals for each ad set, and that's really important in days of post-iOS 14 when the system needs as much signals as it can have in order to learn. And if we go to the most extreme version of a simplified account structure that avoids exclusion, we also have the benefit of having prospecting ad sets learn from retargeting audiences, which is something I'm about to discuss in the next slide. So let's talk a bit about the test that we did. So We actually went for a very robust test. It was big. It was we spent over $1.5 million, and it had a pretty long duration. And we decided to go with 3 variants. The first one was the classic variant, which was what we used to do in mixed styles, how I started to work my personal favorite account structure back in the day. It had 18 ad sets and 3 layers. The bottom funnel, which had retargeting and repeat, the mid funnel, which had engaged audiences and video views, and the upper funnel with prospecting, board, lookalikes, and so on. We had the minimalistic variant, which was actually what we in mixed styles did at the time. It had 7 ad sets, bottom funnel campaign that does retargeting, and an upper funnel campaign that does prospecting on board, and with the upper funnel excluding the retargeting. And the third variant, which will give you a spoiler that won, actually was exactly the same as the minimalistic one, but it didn't have any exclusions. Now I want to take credit and tell you that it was my idea, but unfortunately it wasn't. It was inspired by one of the agencies we work with called Pareto Solutions, and they're also presenting here in this conference, so I have to give them credit. And the spoiler is this version 1. And the hypothesis we had, if this wins, is that means that the importance of signals outweighs the audience and budget control that we get with the classic approach. And also, if the no exclusion version wins, basically means that we gain with teaching the prospecting ad sets with retargeting audience signals. So actually, it was amazing to see because we had, I didn't put it in the deck, but because we have a sign-in, all the users are putting their mails in, we could have actually seen what was going on under the hood. And we saw that with the no exclusion prospecting campaign, what happened was all of our sales in the beginning, in the first 2 or 3 days, came from users we already had mails for. So it was basically a retargeting campaign. And then slowly and gradually it went up in scale and became a prospecting campaign targeting mostly new audiences. So it learned from retargeting audiences and then found the closest people similar to them in prospecting. So it was very interesting. So the results were very conclusive. 40% increase in ROAS. You can see it in the pink in the pink columns. Basically, the classic segmented version lost in every parameter, also parameters that I don't show here. They also reached more people on both the minimalistic and the no exclusion versions. And so, bottom line, minimal structures work significantly better, and I would at least try and see how it works for you. Okay, the fun part. So I want to talk to you a bit about creatives in Q4. And if you remember in the beginning of the talk, I was talking about the problem we have with timing and the problem we have with ad frequency and targeting the same people over and over. And from my experience, from everything we saw, the best way to reach into new audiences and to crack new segments, new demographics is always creative. So you can do as much account hacks you want, but it's way less effective than just the right ad to the right people. And we have actually 2 very good examples for that. The first one and the most significant one is the diversity one. I'll show you.
It's like having my very own art gallery.
So originally in Mixed Styles, we were very focused on our playbook of how to make creatives, and that was the way we made creatives from the start, which is 25 to 40 family with a kid, and it was a very specific typecast. It was always a white family with a daughter, and it worked according to a specific formula. And at some point we decided in 2020 we want to have more diversification in our ads because we thought that's something we should actually do as a company. And actually, we didn't expect it, but this diversity ad that this ad that you're looking at right now was actually a real game changer for the company. So it generated 3 times higher share of revenue from Android users compared to our benchmarks, and it doubled the revenue of young adults, 18 to 24, compared to our benchmarks. And I'm talking about big numbers. So this took over the account. So it really moved the needle for the entire business. And it came in just when iOS 14 hit iPhone users. It was perfect. And we didn't aim for that, but it worked wonderful for us. And the second ad is the ad that cracked men for us last year on Christmas. Generated 2.5 higher share of revenue for men compared to the benchmarks, scaled to be one of our biggest ads in Christmas of last year. I won't show it because I think it's less interesting and I don't have time. So let's talk a bit about what should we do when it comes to Q4 creatives. And the important thing is your bread and butter creatives, the evergreen creatives, will still work, and they will work better than ever. But what we do need to have is make ads that address new pain points that our normal users don't have. So with a regular purchase, what we want to do is to make the viewer think to themselves, I want this product, I need this product. The priority is first the product, its quality, then how much it costs, and then things like when will I get it, and great customer service and so on. With a gift purchaser, it's a different ball game. So what we want to have is people thinking, wow, this is an amazing gift that he or she, whoever the recipient is, will love. Then what bothers them is usually, will it arrive on time for Christmas if it's a gift? And only then things like how much will it cost, customer service, and so on. So I want to talk to you about the 3 main gifting ads concepts and openings that I found to be working for us. And you need to remember that the gifter is buying our product to make someone else happy, not themselves. So with that in mind, the first type of creative that always works best for us is reactions, hands down. It has the benefit of being very product focused, which is what we're looking for in direct response ads, but also showing the benefit of how much people love this as a gift. And it's authentic and organic. And it also has the element we're looking for of being very thumb-stopping. So I'm going to show you an ad by a company called Paint Your Life. I think they're the golden standard in reaction videos. So basically, they do these montages of reactions, and we do the same. We have our versions of it, and always picks up during Q4 and the gifting seasons, like Mother's Day for us. The second type of creatives that I want to show you is creatives that demonstrate how to present the gift, how to show it to the gift receiver. And the example I'm giving here is by a company called My Name Necklace. It was a company I used to work for, and the winner for them in every gifting season is these gift notes where they write the greeting on the gift note itself. And the reason it works is because it helps the customer create the moment of gifting, and it solves a real problem with gifting, how to give it. And what we're doing here is basically we're using the ad to solve another problem that's unrelated to the product. And we actually saw people writing what we wrote on the gift card on their gift card. So obviously it works. And for every product, it's something else. For mixed ads, what we do is we show like how to build a love wall on Valentine's Day and so on. So it's very product specific. And the third type of ads is influencer testimonials or fake influencer testimonials. I'll show you this.
So Mother's Day is around the corner, and here I am again, totally confused about what I'm going to give my mother. Light bulb, I thought about mixed tiles.
So also this type of ads, very organic and authentic. And what it does is one of our main concerns is gift givers is will the person getting it will like it, and a lot of times we don't know. And having an influencer type of a presenter really helps alleviate that concern for us. And they work for us amazingly, regardless. Also in evergreen ads. So these are the three types of creatives we have. Let's recap for a second what we were talking about. So the main thing I want you to take from this talk is one, using manual bids with very, very high budgets to scale effectively in a cost-effective way. To move to a simplified account structure simply because its performance is just way better and it's way simpler to manage campaigns that way. And three is to make really kick-ass creatives that do gifting. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Ori, thank you so much for all the value. I often, or we often term you as like the Dark Knight, just because of the amount of responsibility from a media buying standpoint you have on your head.
Yeah.
You're running an over $100 million, dollar brand, and the budgets are insane. When you talk about really, really, really big budgets, I'm like, okay, I don't want to know really. But thank you for the manual bids, the LTV adjustment, and your account structure, talking about the simplified account structure, and then the holy grail really is creatives. Speaking of diversity, what are you doing about the loss of demographic data? Because since the release of iOS 14, when you log into your Facebook Ads Manager, you do not see demographic data. You don't see, male or female or age breakdown, and it's really, really, really distorting a lot of decision making from an ad buying standpoint, especially with fresh brands. How are you guys, sorting that out?
Yeah, that's actually a very good question because we have a pretty cool hack that we found to resolve this. So if we found out that if you upload offline conversions, you can see the breakdowns, all the breakdowns back in your ads manager. So what we do is we just use an API to upload our offline our conversions every day, and that way we can see breakdowns in ads manager. And also we stopped, like for the day-to-day performance, we're actually using our internal data, and we have a platform that our agency Pareto built that's brilliant. We're sending them our internal data, and they're combining it with Facebook API, and so they rebuilt basically Ads Manager on their own in-house platform called Sherlock, and that's also something that's super useful for us.
That's insane. Is that just for their clients, or is it just for you guys? Do they build it out for you or all their clients?
You broke off, Kunle.
Did they build it out for just their clients, or is this a public tool?
I think that it's only for their clients at the moment, but I'm not sure.
Okay, makes sense. And then speaking about data, what about other conversion data that determines like CPA and also ROAS? Is that also part of this platform?
Yeah, so basically what the platform does, it takes the spend data from the API, and it takes the revenue from our internal database. And because we send an ad ID back to our database, we can match the spend with the revenue of every ad from the ad level to the campaign level.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. And then how are you enlisting influencers? You talked about the second kind of creatives you guys, create is it's in collaboration with, you call them fake influencers. Are these micro influencers or really fake influencers?
No, it's actually, we have a pretty big operation around influencers. So we have three main sources that come into the funnel. We have our agencies. They have their influencers. Some of them are real influencers and micro influencers, and some of them are not even influencers. They're just people. Some of them are workers, employees of the agencies. We have inbounds that are reaching out to do collaborations with us, and we also work with a platform to collaborate with bigger influencers.
Incredible. Ori, thank you. I'd love to just put you on here for a while, but we're time strapped. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please hang out in the comment area for 5 or 10 minutes. A lot of people have questions.
Sure.
All right. Cheers. Thanks. Bye.
Wow.